Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Force here in 2024.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Our first episode of the year. Thanks for coming back. I am David Cunningham here with Hannah Burr. Good evening, Hannah.
Good evening, and how are you?
I'm doing good. Back to work, but also the start of a new year, the start of looking forward to new Star Wars content.
Yes.
As that's what we're going to do in this episode is kind of look at the schedule, what we know about it, what we know it's coming out, kind of offer our thoughts about that. And then there's some Inside the Force stuff I want to share with everybody. And Hannah, I forgot I actually was going to share this with you before we did this, so you wouldn't be so surprised.
I think you told me some of it. So
I told you, yeah, you know some of it, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, kicking off the new year, our last episode, we went back and looked at 2023 and our thoughts about that. We got some comments that we'll share from that. But 2024 now is all new year, and according to some of the stuff that's on this list here, all new Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited about it. We'll see if Hannah's excited about it. And we'll get into it here in a minute. But first, of course, thanks to our patrons at the top of the year. We want to thank you for all the support. A lot of what I'm going to talk about later for Inside the Force, what's coming this year, is actually going to be more on Patreon. So thank you for the support again, and we will get you more content on there. I'm looking forward to that. A little more interaction and just more stuff to do on there. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested, go to patreon.com/Inside the Force. Check out our tiers there. And, of course, come to YouTube here if you want to watch our show, as well as our other shows like Council Sessions, Beyond the Saga, Masters of the Order, Dark Knowledge. Got some good stuff coming from there as well. All that stuff coming from us. Whew. Okay, here we go. First up, though, let's talk a little bit of news. There isn't a lot of news, obviously, unfortunately, of the releases that we're expecting this year. Just still don't know when things are coming or exactly what's coming. But unfortunately, right now, we want to talk about the news of the new Jedi Order film that apparently is going into production here in a couple of months. April is when I've heard that this thing might start shooting. Mm-hmm. Now, the director, who is Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, recently is in the news for some comments, and I'm going to throw it to you to go first on this, Hannah, because, to be honest, this is why I love having you on the show, because you bring a female perspective that hasn't been on the show for a long time, and it's good to get your thoughts on this. So I'll pass to you and to kick us off on what's going on with Sharmeen here.
All right. Well, with Sharmeen, the biggest thing, if you haven't seen, is she made a comment about directing the latest or the upcoming Star Wars movie. And what she said was, I'm trying to pull up the quote here. I just had it and I just lost it. Where did it go? Oh, right, here it is. So the quote that everyone is, or not everyone, but some people are reeling from is, "We're in 2024 now, and it's about time we had a woman come forward to shape a story in a galaxy far, far away."
Right.
A lot of people are saying, there are some extremists out there who are saying this is woke. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And other people out there are saying that this is a ridiculous statement to make. Other people are saying, hoorah, feminism. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people are comparing this and saying, see, it makes sense by pulling up a clip from 2015 of her saying that she loves to make men uncomfortable. Now, if you look within the context of that, Could be mistaken, but I believe, based on my research, that that is from a panel in a discussion with a documentary that she made that was supposed to be about making men uncomfortable, because it, I believe it either took place in Pakistan or it was somewhere in the Middle East or in India, where in that culture, unfortunately, women don't have, they don't have a lot of rights
That's right.
comparatively to the United States. So in that context, I'm sure, hopefully everyone, but I'm sure it's just going to be a lot of people agree that that is a very fair statement to make, especially in
Right.
the documentary world. With regards to this, personally, for me as a woman, at first I don't find it offensive, but then when you really think, like, I don't find it offensive at all, but what I find it is just a little bit in poor taste and a little bit inconsiderate. And those might be too strong of words to use, but the reason why is, as we were talking before we were recording, there are a lot of women leaders at Lucasfilms.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of female leaders. And then you also have other female directors in Star Wars television. Bryce Dallas Howard is, or did I say her name right?
Yeah. Bryce Dallas
Yeah,
Howard.
yeah.
Yep.
She's a perfect example of that. So, and then of course you have Kathleen Kennedy, who's the head of the whole shebang. So
Yeah. Since George.
yes. So do I think she deserves the backlash she's getting? Absolutely not. I just think there wasn't a lot of thought that went into that comment before it came out of her mouth. And I'm sure she had all good intentions. And maybe she meant it's about time that we had a female director of a Star Wars movie
Right.
versus generalization of Star Wars.
Right.
But I am now very, very concerned for her, especially since it's on the heels of the controversial Rachel Zegler PR nightmare that Disney had to face with the Snow White movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm worried for her. As a woman, I'm not offended by the comment. I just don't think there was a lot of thought and preparation that went into it. And I'm going to choose to think well of her, that she didn't mean for it to come across the way that it did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, before anybody that started listening or watching us turns this off, like I want to be very clear that, well, no, I just want to be very clear that we're not taking a political stance here, and we're not a political podcast whatsoever. The only reason I wanted to kind of bring this up and get your opinion on this, to be honest, was you know, it's we are anxiously and excited about Star Wars coming back in theaters, and I'm concerned personally that press like this will possibly hurt the box office, which in turn will then cease Star Wars movies in theaters, which I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Right? It's one thing that a movie comes out there and you just don't like it and it's bad. I get it. It's possible that a Star Wars movie comes out and it's bad. But man, something like this, I'm concerned that people won't even give it a chance. Right? They're going to go in with preconceived thoughts or preconceived notions that this is not going to be for them, and that this is going to be some political message and blah, 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 blah. I don't care about any of that. I don't care. I really, to be honest, Hannah, I really don't care about what she said. And the reason for that is she's not the only one out there that makes bad comments or says something. It happens all the time.
Yep.
And, you know, it's up to us as people to I get it that sometimes people say things that do offend people. 100% agree with that. Sometimes I feel offended sometimes by things that are said. But in the end, does it, is what she's saying affecting my life tomorrow? No. Is what she's saying going to turn me away from Star Wars? 100% no. So I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on this, really, because I did take that as when I read it, when I heard it, and when I read it, I did take that as I was actually confused, because I was just confused that, wait a minute, I mean, there's a ton of women in Star Wars, and I know there's a lot of, I mean, there's been a back and forth in social media and the fan base for years now regarding how well or how poorly Star Wars is being run by Disney. Again, that's completely subjective. Subjective. It is making money still, so technically it's successful. Whether or not the stories, are for you, or do you gravitate towards those stories, that part is totally subjective. And I do think there's still a lot of people that love what Disney's doing, and I think there's a lot of people that don't, and it's fine. That's what this is all about. That's what fandom is, right? It's just when it really start getting into the hate world, into the name calling and things like that. There's no room for that. There's no place for that.
There isn't, and it's completely unnecessary. I mean, you're right. People make bad comments every single day. I mean, guess what? Newsflash, everyone. Celebrities are human too. They are. And I'm really glad you take that stance, because it's moments like this where I'm like, why is there even these types of PR stunt? Like, I know it's to help promote the movie, but I wonder if they're going to start taking away PR altogether, because one person says one thing. I'm actually when I first read about the comment, I read it in an article that actually did a really, really good job of being very unbiased. They didn't bring any opinion into it. They didn't even say this is causing people to have a reaction. They just said, look, this is what happened. And, kudos to that site. I think, and I feel like this is just something that's happening. And once again, I don't think this is a political thing at all. This is just a observation. For some reason, something goes wrong. Everybody feels like they have to stir a big drama out of it.
Yeah, no, that's been the MO for sure right now for social media and for news articles. And a lot of it's clickbait still. People just need the clicks. So they put these headlines out there and they make you want to go click on it and read it. And I do believe most people don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or if they did, it's not like they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she said this. It's like, ooh, maybe not the best thing to say, but then they're going to move on with their life and they're still going to see it.
Yeah. So, but I think, and this is the only thing I'm going to say. I don't want to get into this too deeply, but
right.
If anything, this could cause, I do believe that this could cause this Rey movie to suffer in the box office.
Yes.
But I will say that train has already been going on because of Disney. So even if she didn't say this, I still think it could have gone bad it's not good. It just really hasn't been good for Disney movies lately in theaters, and it's very unfortunate. So, because a lot of us, my family included, your family, we enjoy Disney content, and again, not everything is for everybody. There's definitely things I don't like, but there's a lot of things I do like, and I will get. I don't care what you tell me about this movie. I will see it. I will see it in theaters. I will see it opening night. I may or may not like it. That's fine. And we'll get on here and talk about it. But there's no way I'm not going to not go see this movie. I mean, I can't even imagine anything that would stop me from seeing this movie unless I physically couldn't make it. So anyway, I just, I think I do want to point out, lastly, at least for me, Hannah, is that there has been, to me in a way, I think there has been incredible leadership at Disney, at Lucasfilm. Mm-hmm. I've always been a Kathleen Kennedy fan ever since she's been producing for Spielberg and Lucas with, Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park and all the stuff that she's done. I've been a huge follower of hers through my career. I thought she was a great pick. And honestly, again, you can say what you will, but she knows producing. Now, what I think, where I think the lack has been a little bit is on the creative side. But now you have Dave Filoni there. So to me, it's like now is the time to really see what can be done. And I hope Kathleen Kennedy sticks around for a little while. And Dave really works with her on shaping these next stories. So anyway, I'm excited for where it's going. Carrie Beck, who's been a big producer for Clone Wars and Rebels and Ahsoka, she's, an executive now there. I mean, you've got great, strong women leading Star Wars, but you also have had incredibly strong female characters in Star Wars. I mean, I truly don't think there's a lack of female characters in Star Wars. And there's some that we haven't even seen, like Dr. Aphra, who is a major character in the comic books right now. So I think it's in. I don't see it. I don't see the negativity, and I don't understand some of the negativity around some of what we're getting in Star Wars, because I do think we're getting a good, diverse, expanded view of the galaxy far, far away. And like you said, it's being told by incredible filmmakers like Deborah Chow and Bryce Dallas Howard. And I'm looking forward to, and that's the only thing with her is with Charmaine is, to be honest, is we've never seen a film from her because she's done nothing but documentaries up to this point. So, it's not like Bryce Dallas Howard, where she's got a track record of things that you can kind of look at. So I'm excited to see what she can do, So anyway, I just want to leave it there.
Absolutely.
Last comments for you.
Well, I think the other comment is, I think she'll bring definitely a unique background to it, especially as a Pakistani Canadian filmmaker. So it'll be interesting to see how she brings her point of view of things into the universe of Star Wars. I think that'll be very fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, because that is one thing about Star Wars that I think makes it so, to me, so what's the word I'm looking for? It makes it I guess almost equal in a sense, or diverse, I guess you can say too. But like, when you're in the Star Wars world, when you're kind of in your mind, kind of navigating through it with all the content that we've gotten, there's all these different races of aliens and planets, and everybody is, around everybody. Now, I don't know. Again, I don't want to get too into all that, but there's all kinds of characters and races and species and cultures and all. It's all over the place in Star Wars, and within Star Wars, you can tell that it's just not. It doesn't matter. It's when you're going through that world there, it's what you do with your life. You've got these different things you can do. And of course, with all these people all the time, there's going to be conflict, and that's what we see in Star Wars is the conflict that happens between, different factions of government and things like that. So, but you just don't, you just don't see it. I don't know. There's that's what Star Wars is. That's all, I guess that's how I'm saying it, is that's what Star Wars is. We don't have to, bring it to our kind of society and our world of stuff. That's what the beauty of it is. Escape us and get there, and see what that is. So anyway, hopefully people are still sticking with us right now. But I think the point is we're trying to, despite everything that is out there on her and what she said, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, I feel like we still here want to be positive about Star Wars. We still want to be excited for Star Wars, and we'll be honest with our feelings about the material, not about the director, not about the actors, not about, we've already kind of gone through this whole strike thing. It's like, we're not worried about that. It's like, they got to do what you got to do on the personal side and deal with that. But we're just talking about what's on the screen and how we're affected by that. And that's all I care about. That's all we care about. So anyway.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think.
Well put.
Okay. So that's it for that. And speaking of now, 2024. So anyway, so the movie that Rey's in, the new Jedi Order movie, that's not even coming out this year. So they're going to be shooting that this year, hopefully. I would suspect that that's going to be the December 2025 release date. That's
yes.
That's on the docket.
In the article I read, I think it said it's still on schedule for 2025.
Yes. So we got less than a couple years to get that. So just, again, excited to get a dang Star Wars movie in a theater again. But let's talk about 2024. Okay, so obviously the big thing, since we're not getting a movie, we got to look for what's coming out on Disney Plus.
Yes. And
according to some press releases that's been out, there are four shows coming out on Disney Plus this year. You've got The Bad Batch season finale, final season 3. You've got Tales of the Jedi season 2. You've got The Acolyte, and then you've got Skeleton Crew. So there you go. So when I was saying earlier, we talked about last week how 2023 actually kind of felt like, at least to me in a way, we didn't really get anything new. You know what I mean? Like, we got season 3 of Mandalorian. We got season 2 of The Bad Batch. We got Ahsoka, which is technically season 5 of Rebels.
Yes.
So it's like we got continuation. Well, this year, 2 brand new shows with all new characters. And then, of course, The Bad Batch does finish up, but then Tales of the Jedi are going to be all new stories. Probably familiar characters, but stories we don't know about. So anyway, I guess out of that grouping, Hannah, what are you most excited to see?
Acolyte. There's not even a question about it. I think the fact that we're going to a completely different time period is so exciting. Brand new characters, brand new story. It's going to be so different. And I think that's fantastic. And I hope it does well, because that'll be an encouragement for Disney to explore different times of Star Wars. Like, I already know we're going to get Dawn of the Jedi, but I really, really hope that gets them to do Darth Bane, that gets them to do Revan, that gets them to do Old Republic. I just hope this gives the nudge to go in that direction. So Acolyte is hands down the one I'm looking forward to most. What about you?
Yeah, I would say the Acolyte for sure. I'm ready for some new content. Some new people and some new eras. I'm we've dived a little bit into the High Republic on the publishing side. This is a High Republic, but it's still actually a little ways away from that. I mean, we're 100 years even closer to the movies in this than we are from the books. So,
Yeah.
but it does hopefully, like you said, open the door for stories coming from the Old Republic and bringing some of these other characters in that we are hoping that they canonize.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think I think at least what I'm hearing and what I'm reading rumor wise about it is that it's truly going to be the story about how the Sith are trying to infiltrate the government and the Jedi and things like that. So it is kind of tying into the overall story that we've gotten in the Skywalker saga, which is I think that part is incredible.
Yes.
Right. So I think there, hopefully maybe there's some surprises, some interesting connections that come up with that. But now I will say though that I guess depending on what characters we get in Tales of the Jedi, I might be a little pretty excited about that too.
I would say that's the second one I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
That closely follows Acolyte, because I agree with you. There are so many different stories they could go with. And I think, as we discussed before in other episodes, I think this is a way for them to do some of the stories from the Clone Wars that they weren't able to produce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, hey, Dark Disciple might be in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I we talked about it a little bit last week because there's a book coming out from about Mace Windu.
Yes.
So could Mace Windu be, a part of this? I think that's definitely a way he can go.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility. He made a cameo appearance in Tales of the Jedi Season 1.
That's right. So I think that's possible. And then I do think, I do think if this is, like you said, Filoni's way of giving us some of those other stories or closing out some of those other characters that, that's not getting closed out in the Bad Batch and then, that weren't closed out in the Rebels. Asajj Ventress is definitely one of those characters, and
yes,
she technically was expanded upon in the book Dark Disciple, but not every fan read that. So I definitely think that would be a good possibility. But then again, you at some point, Tales of the Jedi doesn't have to be specific to a single era. We can go further back.
I wonder if it's going to be from the High Republic.
Could be. It actually really could be.
They start incorporating it. And it could be they do that, and maybe there are some characters in that we see in Acolyte.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So
I think that's a high. I think that's smart. I mean, I think it's smart. Start tying this stuff together, and.
I mean, maybe you do a parallel. You do a parallel with a story we're very familiar with. Maybe with a Luke story or a Leia story or a Padme story or someone, and you parallel it with a significant character from the High Republic.
Yeah.
Because we saw parallel stories between Ahsoka and Dooku.
Yep. True. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think that's very, very possible.
It would be smart.
Yeah, it would be smart. I will say the only one that, I'm just not really excited for because I just don't know is Skeleton Crew.
See, I would disagree with that. I think the one I'm not really looking forward to the most is Bad Batch.
Oh, really?
I guess maybe it was because I have such mixed emotions about season 2 that I'm just not as excited as I feel like I should be. But I can also understand how Skeleton Crew, because the thing is, at least we know more about Bad Batch season 3. At least we have the stories leading up to it. Skeleton Crew, we know zippity doo-dah except Jude Law is in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are rumors about what it's about, but there's nothing concrete.
No, and we haven't seen anything on it either.
So I completely see how a lot of people aren't anticipating that one as much as the others.
Yeah, not definitely not until we see something. So, Bad Batch, Bad Batch. I'm excited for just because, I do think it is kind of running its course, like it's ready to be over.
Yes.
One more season I think would be enough. Because honestly, I still want an animated series. So I'm ready for it. Doesn't seem like Tales of the Jedi is different because it's not as many episodes. But we haven't really got like concurrent or two different series going on at once, like full series. So I'm curious if it's always going to be just like one series at a time, one animated series at a time, like we do 3 seasons of one animated series and then we jump to the other one without doing overlapping. Because I get it, because you got to get a whole nother animation team if you're doing 2. So
but who knows? Maybe Tales of the Jedi will be a way for them to test the High Republic, and if it does well, maybe we'll get a High Republic animated series.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that that's possible. But that's what I'm saying is I think you got to finish out the Bad Batch before you kind of move on to kind of a full animated series like that. And I think, but it'd be good if I still don't quite understand. And I've said this numerous times on the show, I'm sure, but I still don't quite understand why we just don't get more animated movies. Like I don't need a full series. I'm giving an animated movie. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we got it in the Clone Wars, right? We got the first one in the Clone Wars, and we just haven't had one since, and it's all been just series based. I get it. You could spend longer with them and characters, but now again, I will also always say that those CG realistic trailers we get like for games,
yes,
like that's what I want a movie in. I want a movie that looks like that. Like Knights of the Old Republic, those cinematic trailers they do for that. Like, give me a movie. I know it costs probably a ton. I get it.
It's Disney. They got money.
But man, it would be so well received. Those things are incredible.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why we, I don't know why.
Huh.
Maybe it is too much money for a 90-minute movie like that. But
maybe.
Because there has been movies out that have tried that, the full animation. I mean, obviously they do it, but that like realistic. Like really detailed.
And maybe at that point it has to be motion capture.
Could be, yeah, it could be. The way the Unreal Engine's working now, it seems like you can do live motion capture like that and get really good detail. So anyway. Okay, Skeleton Crew, yeah, Tales, Bad Batch, Acolyte. Those are all kind of the Disney Plus series. Now, we don't know what order they're coming in. I believe the Bad Batch is going to be coming first. because that was getting worked on, the earliest, and then I do think that Acolyte will be right after that,
Okay.
and then I think Tales of the Jedi, and then Skeleton Crew.
That makes sense. The only other thing I could see if they swapped Skeleton Crew and Acolyte.
Yeah, the only reason I say that is because Skeleton Crew, I believe somewhere, I believe that has already been mentioned that it's coming out late 2024.
Oh.
Because it was supposed to come out late 2023, but they pushed it a year.
Okay.
So, and Acolyte has technically been done, and that because that originally had a release date of 2023.
Right.
So, so I believe the Acolyte is pretty much done, unless they had to wait till the strike was over to do some pickups or something like that.
And maybe that's the case.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. So anyway, that's obviously we'll talk about all these things as they come out. The next big release I feel like that I feel like most Star Wars fans are looking forward to is considered the first open world video game, Star Wars Outlaws, which just recently I saw has a late 2024 release date.
Okay.
So we don't have a full release date, but a late usually means third, fourth quarter. So you're talking probably August, September, October, November, something like that.
Just in time for the holidays.
Well, that's the thing is usually they say holiday, which means like November, December. But since they say late, I'm thinking probably August, September is kind of where I'm thinking this is going to land. So
probably.
Yeah. So it's a bummer though, because man, I wanted that thing like February. I wanted to start playing that thing.
Yeah. That it looks so good. I mean, I kind of wish that you weren't stuck as one character, but
Yeah.
I can also understand why they chose to do that.
Yeah. So you wish you could either choose characters or create your own? Yeah.
Create your own.
Create your own. I'm surprised you can't create your own.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it was like a create your own thing where you could decide if you were a bounty hunter, if you were a Jedi on the run, if you were a smuggler.
Yes.
You choose what you do, and therefore you then interact in the world based on that.
Yes.
Very similar to Skyrim. But watching the trailer, I can understand why they decided not to do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
But
here's you just gave me an idea. Here's what they should do.
Okay.
And I think this would be incredibly well received. But you pick an era that we haven't seen yet. So you go maybe Old Republic era, or even somewhere between Dawn of the Jedi and Old Republic. Like you just go back 15,000 years or 10,000 years, whatever.
Okay.
So there's no possible interaction with anybody we know character wise, or there's no interaction with that.
Right.
And then you allow users to create their own characters. And you put them in that Star Wars universe at that point, right? And you have this open world, and you make it multiplayer, obviously, where you can. It's like kind of. I haven't played it, but it's kind of like World of Warcraft, I guess, right? Where you can get into that world. More. Yeah, well, I believe you can get into that world, and there's other users that can get into that world.
Oh.
So you're all kind of living in the same world, right? The same galaxy, obviously.
I like that a lot.
And then get this. What would be, again, an idea for Lucasfilm to do is you randomly go in there and grab characters and make them canon.
Oh.
So then now you have a canon character you've created in the Star Wars world. So tell me people wouldn't get excited about that.
Oh my gosh, to imagine like, oh my gosh, my character and my story that I created became canon.
Yes.
I love the idea. My brain's immediately going through the logistics of that.
Yeah,
That would be so, like, it's complicated. Logistics wise, it would be complicated and it would take so much work and that would be such a big game.
it would.
But holy smokes, it is possible.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it probably
Whoa.
will be as gaming systems grow and the technology grows. But right now, what I'm hearing, like with this and with this World Starfield that came out, like there's thousands of planets you can visit, like thousands. So I'm like,
That's amazing.
so the size is there, and if you put it online, you put it on a bunch of servers, those worlds are possibility, I think. So, but just imagine, like you create a character, you become a bounty hunter or something, and you go and do these things, and then Lucasfilm Games can come in and say, you know what, this character, we like where this is at. Hey Hannah, do you mind if we, pay you a little bit of fee for the rights to create this character as a canon character, maybe throw in some comics or throw it in some books, or eventually maybe make it into a series. I don't know. It's like
I would literally die.
that would be what I mean. I almost think like that would kind of supercharge the fan base again a little bit.
Oh, it would.
And anyway, I just thought of
No.
that just now when you were talking about creating characters and stuff like that. I was like, how can you entice or incentivize people to create, get creative? Not with just the character, but the story.
Get Filoni on the phone.
Right. I know. I did.
No,
I need
it's
to
so
talk
cool.
to like Matt Martin on Lucasfilm's create story group. Maybe.
Oh my gosh. No, that would be amazing. I mean, honestly, what you could do is you could like have people agree in the beginning, do a terms and conditions,
Yeah. Oh yeah. True.
and just be like,
That's right.
it could be selected, but then you would just get an email saying, "Hey, we selected your story, your character. Here's a pay, like, please contact for payment or whatever."
Correct. Yeah. Here's your fee for helping that, or in the long run, you could give them just a small royalty or something like that. Eventually.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
Residuals.
Yeah. Correct. So
Man.
that would be. Oh man, that would be so awesome.
Oh.
Although you'd probably be pulling a lot of people out of the workforce because all they'd be doing is playing that game.
That's all they'd be doing. They're like, pay. And then you have to also imagine how many people you have to have monitoring everything.
I know. Well, but with AI, you could probably get a lot of assistance with that.
I wouldn't trust AI with that.
Well, at least define like the stories maybe you're looking for, or certain aspects
maybe.
of, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you would get this big list of characters that you kind of have to sift through and find.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
That really would be.
Besides that, those things, games and shows, obviously there's still a ton of publishing coming out this year from the High Republic.
Yes.
Phase 3 is still underway. In fact, I just read that it is continuing into 2025. So Phase 3 won't end until 2025. You've got Defy the Storm, which is coming out on March 12th, and you've got Temptation of the Force, which is coming out June 11th. Tears of the Nameless, September 3rd. So there's other High Republic books that don't have release dates yet. Mm-hmm. You have a book called The Living Force that we mentioned coming out April 9th, and then of course Mace Windu's book The Glass Abyss is August 6th. So, and there's definitely going to be a lot more novels to come and get release dates here soon, I'm sure, as we go on this year. Let's see, real quick on comics this month. This past Wednesday, Vader 42 and High Republic Shadows of Starlight number 4 dropped. Next week, you got Star Wars 42, Mandalorian Season 2, number 8. On January 16th, Bounty Hunters 42, Obi-Wan Kenobi number 4, High Republic number 3. That's the Phase 3 comic. January 24th, Thrawn Alliances number 1, the novel adaptation, comes out in comic form. And then January 31st, you've got Dr. Aphra number 40. So big slate of comics to start off 2024. It looks as if, the main storylines, Vader, Star Wars, Bounty Hunters, Dr. Aphra are continuing this year. You got High Republic, and then of course there'll be some. And right now, like Dark Droids is still going on and stuff like that. So, but I haven't seen any real kind of new. There is a Mace Windu comic that starts here soon. That comes out here soon. So there are some comic announcements, but we'll follow that and let you all know about that as it comes. So, I don't know what else in 2024.
Just excitement.
Yeah. I gotta get. That's one of my goals is to get caught up on these comics. Truly. Yeah.
Oh boy, good luck with that.
I know. I want to get at least some of these ongoing, these weeklies, ongoing monthly ones. I want to get caught up so I can do some reviews and things like that and talk about those. I gotta say on the novel side though, I definitely looking forward to that Glass Abyss. But I'm kind of behind on the High Republic right now, so I can't get too excited about those. But there's really not any novels right now I'm that excited for.
Yeah.
But we'll see what comes out.
Absolutely.
Wasn't
that Mace Windu novel supposed to come out this year, or was that next year?
Yeah, it's August 6th. Yeah.
Okay. So
it's later this year.
Yeah. I would say that's probably one I'm really looking forward to.
And of course, there isn't a Star Wars celebration this year. It will be next year in Japan. Did I tell you my daughters want to go?
You better start saving your pennies.
I know. I was about to say, I was like, wow, really? Because they're like, oh, we can go to Tokyo Disney,
Disneyland and Disney Sea.
Yes. Yeah. That would be fun to see. Because you've been, when did you go there?
20. Hang on.
Like 2018 or something like that?
It was 2017 or 2018.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to, obviously this year, like with the Olympics in Paris, they're like, we can go to Paris, go to the Olympics, and then go to Disneyland Paris. And I'm like, because I have heard Disneyland Paris is really, really good to see. Like, yeah. So, yeah, we got to try that sometime. Anyway. Okay. Before we wrap up here, let's talk a little bit about what you can expect maybe from Inside the Force this year. I will say I'm working on, I'm pretty close to being done, but I've got what I've been working on is kind of a schedule, and honestly, that's the one thing I just haven't been that great about doing. For those of you that do follow us regularly, the one thing I do, I'm very bad about and lack in doing is social media posting and posting more things and things like that. And right now I'm kind of limited to just posting when our shows come out. But I want to be a little more active there too. So I'm working on content that will be just released on social. More so information based things like Star Wars facts and things like that because that's the thing. What we here at Inside the Force is what we kind of push is the knowledge of Star Wars and stuff like that. So I just want to kind of share that as much as we can, and that's why I've got all these books and stuff, and that's why I kind of read all this stuff, right? So to share that knowledge and experience and things like that. So so that's kind of what, what's going to probably start showing up on social, but not really across the board the same thing on it. It's like I want to change it up and have different reasons to follow different channels and things like that. So that's what I got. I'll talk to you more about that, Hannah, offline and stuff like that. But
awesome.
But as far as our show, obviously, I want to get more. Me and Hannah had talked about getting more on a regular routine. So I want to make sure that we try to get this show out on Fridays. So try to expect this to land on YouTube and on your podcast feeds on Friday. The show will continue to be on both, and if for some reason it's not on a Friday, that means something came up with one of us, and maybe and if it's late, it'll come out on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So so look for that, and then our other shows, Council Sessions, Beyond the Saga, Masters of the Order of Dark Knowledge. Again, those are strictly YouTube channel shows, and those will be out on Tuesdays. Is the plan right now. So, for example, this coming Tuesday, you're going to get a show from me and Martin doing a Council Sessions, and then from there it'll be, and it'll alternate. It won't be the same thing like every week. It's like 1 week it'll be Council, 1 week it'll be Beyond, 1 week Knowledge, it might be Beyond again. Things like that. So, but look for one of those every week on Tuesdays, this show on Fridays, and then sprinkled in between the weeks or in between the days, and pretty much. And I truly do want to commit to putting up at least 4, maybe 5 pieces of content on Patreon during the week. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the things that we have in our tiers, which are holocron knowledge based things, like, again, kind of the stuff from the encyclopedias, and just highlights of characters and planets and locations and things like that. I want to talk through stuff like that, answering some Q&A stuff, but also just searching like questions that come up that I see out there, or you see out there, that are relevant to Star Wars and things like that, and addressing those questions. And then comic reviews, that's why I brought that up. Book reviews, Hannah kind of gets through those quicker than I do. We'll put that stuff on there, and then of course we'll still keep doing our reaction videos from trailers and episodes that come out. That's part of a tier there too. And then some some behind, for our master patrons, a little more behind the scenes type videos of us, things around my office here, personal things with my kids, and like right now, like for example, like my daughter, you can't see my daughter's, can you see back there? Like,
yeah, you can see.
Oh yeah, she's building Chewbacca right here. Yeah. Things like that. We can, I'll show some stuff like that. So anyway, a lot more stuff coming on Patreon. So I know again, we appreciate our patrons more than anything, and it's the support is incredible. And obviously we appreciate all of our fans, everybody watching and listening, but especially our patrons. We want to make sure that they get the content that they want and need, and so of course I want to be more vocal on there with them about what they want to see and what they want to have us do. Mm-hmm. But the one thing also, the last thing I'll kind of mention is Hannah and I told Hannah, I was like, we really got to get on doing some commentaries.
Absolutely.
So, yes. So what we're going to do is, starting in January, which is this month, obviously, mm-hmm. We're gonna do a movie a month, leading throughout the year. So we're talking, I guess, is there there's 11 movies basically, right? Because you got the 9
12.
saga films, and then you got Rogue One, then you got Solo, right?
Yeah, it's 11. I can't math.
Yeah, you can't math, so
Sorry, I can't math. Well, do we include the Clone Wars animated movie too?
we could, I guess, but I mean, we can decide that later. But yeah, if you want, we can do it. But
that would make 12, one per month.
it would make 12. You know, but I was maybe thinking maybe we take December off because of the holidays.
Okay, never mind.
But we'll see. But here's the thing: is I'm going to release. If you go to our YouTube channel, I've got some fan made trailers on there. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to cut different versions of these movies and kind of put them out there. So I already got the Phantom Menace done. So I'll put that out there here soon, and then we'll figure out a date where we're going to do the commentary. And I would like to do it, to be honest, I would like to work it out to where we do it live.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We talked about that. If you're still good with that, I think it'd be cool to do it. And, if people want to join and comment as we're going and things like that, then, I think that would be neat to do. And because I think we would come up with enough to talk through a lot of, because I've done commentary on our channel. You can see Casey and I did a commentary years ago as just a podcast before we went on YouTube. So back in our feed, you can listen to commentaries that we did, I don't even know what year that was, but we also did video commentaries on our channel leading up to The Last Jedi. So that was 2017. And, but there's been obviously a lot of stuff that's come out since then. So the impact that those stories have now viewing these movies, that's a lot of what we focus on when we talk about these things. And we haven't done a commentary together yet, so I'm obviously interested in getting your point of view on all of these movies, because I know your feeling mainly on the sequel trilogies, but we haven't really sat and really, and the prequels. I think I know some of your feelings about the prequels. But not a lot. And I think, that and the original trilogy, I'm just curious on, and I know how you feel about Rogue One. So,
that one's going to be painful.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be fine.
Right.
It'll be fine.
For you.
I'll still cry at the end, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's you okay with all that? How do you feel about all that?
Let's do it. Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we will talk very soon and plan the commentary. We do the platform. We do our show on here, Riverside. This is probably where we'll do the commentary. They have we can share the links will go out to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and things like that. So you can join anywhere, but I do got to work out some things on here to make sure that people can join easily and comment easily and things like that. So
yeah.
So we'll do all that, but looking forward to that. So we'll go chronological order because you know how stickler I am about canon and timelines. So we'll go chronological order, not release order. So we'll start with episode 1 this month. And I think it'll be a good year. Now, I will tell you, Hannah, I will warn you.
Uh-oh.
That the year that we did this, leading up to the Last Jedi. Now, I'm not telling you something you don't already know because the business we work in and do every day is so fast paced that, you know, it just seems like time flies by. But doing these commentaries every month, it's going to make this year fly by. I'm telling you. Because I remember doing it that year leading up to, and I was like, God, we got all year to wait. I mean, the next thing I knew, wow, it was time to go see the movie. And I was like, this year just has flown by. So
Awesome.
So yeah, hope you don't have a lot to. Hope you don't want to relax this year. Anyway,
I don't. Something tells me 2024 is not going to be the year of relaxing.
I know. But I do think it's gonna be. I do think it's gonna be a fun year.
Yes.
I think we got a lot going on at work, and we got a lot going on in Star Wars. Just side note, like I'm actually heading to Disney in a couple of weeks. My daughter's got actually this time is not just a vacation. My daughter's actually got a gymnastics competition at Disney World this year. So in a couple of weeks, so I'll be there for just like a quick 4 or 5 day trip. But I plan on going to. I think we're planning on doing a cruise this year for the first time.
That's fun.
Have you done a Disney cruise yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You've done everything.
That's not true.
What haven't you done?
Shanghai.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You haven't been to China. Jeez.
No. There are a lot of other things. I feel like that's. I think the beauty about Disney is that there's so many different experiences and there's so many different things you can do at each park.
Yes.
That I don't think it is possible to do them all because they keep on adding new things.
Yeah, and me and my wife were talking about that. Like, I'm bummed that there's parks out there that have things that we don't have here in the States.
Yes.
But then I'm like, well, then that's what makes it better because you have to try to go make those experiences happen.
Well, I like even talking about how in Animal Kingdom in Walt Disney World, they have an experience where you can get closer to the animals on the safari ride.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I like
That's right.
even little things like that.
That's true.
You can scuba dive. I think you can actually scuba dive in the tank at the seas.
Oh, really?
In Epcot.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's there. I know that there's a scuba diving experience, and I think it's there.
Yeah.
But
No, there's definitely
other
things you can do. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that people don't really know that you can do.
So, but I think that's the beauty of Disney is that I don't think you'll ever get to a point where you have done everything.
No, I agree. Yeah, and one thing I didn't do was the Star Cruiser, which is no longer there.
That's the one thing on our bucket list I don't think will ever come. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
I know.
That place.
I know. They got to do something. They got to do something. So, okay. So anyway, that's the plan. Hope everybody sticks with us and spreads the word, and let's get some more people involved and keep talking Star Wars and looking forward to what's coming this year. And talking through that with you, Hannah, with everybody listening, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for 2024 with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Do we have any comments to kick off?
Oh,
the first podcast of the year.
Almost forgot. Yeah, let's see.
But yeah, seriously, excited for this year and the additional Star Wars adventures that will be going on.
Okay, so from our last episode, which was our look back at 2023, I did a show last night with Martin for The Mandalore, and of course he mentioned some things, but he didn't actually. I thought he commented, but he didn't comment. So. But everybody look for that on Mandalore podcast. I don't think it's out yet. I think it's coming out tomorrow, maybe. But okay, let's see. Our buddy Thrawn Addict, though, on our last episode said, I think 2023 overall has been a good year for a Star Wars fan. They might not have been the best shows Disney has done, but still really enjoyed a lot of Mando Season 3 and Ahsoka with quite a few great episodes of The Bad Batch. Also, novels-wise, I can't really complain. We got a great Kira novel and ended the year with new phase of The High Republic, which was fantastic. Looking forward to 2024 with all things Star Wars and Inside the Force, of course. Thanks again to you both for your content in 2023 and taking the time out of your busy lives to do all you do. You're definitely my favorite podcast / channel and can't wait for more in the new year. Hope you both have a great new year. May the Force be with you.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we do the stuff we do right there. So appreciate that, Thrawn.
Have a great new year too.
Absolutely. And that's why I want to get more stuff to you guys because of the stuff like that. And just motivate. It's just motivating, so, like we said earlier at the top too, we're, maybe you're new watching us for the first time, listening to us for the first time. Again, the first part of this podcast this first part of the show was not supposed to be anything but positive. Mm-hmm. We're going to continue to be positive. We're not going to sit here and tell you we love and like everything that comes out, but we're definitely going to try to do our best to experience it and share our thoughts so everybody listening and watching can have their opinions and judgments made. And but we're not here to shade anybody and throw, talk ill of anybody. Especially anybody that works so hard on these projects, because we know what that's like. You put your heart and your soul and your blood, sweat, and tears in all of this work because it's not easy.
No.
And, regardless of the outcome, those people should be celebrated and appreciated. And, they're doing everything they can to just give us some entertaining Star Wars content. And, that's all I'll say. Yeah.
No, it was well put.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think I'm done yapping. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Looking forward to it, and we'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend, and hopefully we get some news, soon about these things. So
yes,
we can get even more excited about it. So thank you, Hannah, for everything 2023, and we'll see 2024.
Thank you for everything for in 2023, and excited for this adventure into 2024.
Yes, 2024. Man, that's crazy. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. May the Force be with you.